Mr. Murray Dow, Western Washington University alumnus, class of 1970, is your commencement speaker. Mr. Dow leads a hotel management and investment firm that owns 11 upscale hotels and resorts, including the Hilton Hotel in Bellevue, and manages 8 other properties across the United States. He founded the Dow Hotel Company in 1998, after nearly 30 years in the hospitality industry. Mr. Dow's first professional experience in hospitality was at Western, serving fellow students in the Vikings Commons. In the classroom, his favorite memories include history professor August Radke's classes on the Civil War and learning about labor economics from economics professor Irwin S. Mayer. After graduating during a terrible recession, Mr. Dow got a job as a busboy at the Benson Hotel in Portland. He wasn't planning to make a career in the hotel business, but was soon promoted through the ranks. Along the way, he worked in every aspect of hotel operations. He then moved on to executive positions with the Ritz Carlton in Chicago, the Four Seasons in San Francisco, and later became chief of operations at the HEI Hotels in Westport, Connecticut. Today, Mr. Dow speaks about the importance of ethics and leadership in the workplace, an area of expertise he shares with us. He recently developed a summer academic workshop on ethics and ethics education for Western. He is also a member of the College of Business and Economics Advisory Board and a former president of the Advisory Board for the College of Business and Economics Center for Innovation in Education. Please welcome your commencement speaker, Mr. Murray Dow.
Good morning. I'll get this robe right probably after it's over. President Shepard, Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, family, and friends, greetings and congratulations. It's my pleasure to address this Western's graduating class of 2014. You really have a lot to be proud of. It's hard to get into Western, I know that, and it's hard to make it all the way through. I congratulate you for your hard work, dodging rain and snow, and endless hours in the Wilson Library, but you made it. I grew up in Vancouver, Washington, attended Hudson's Bay High School. At the time, I was a C+ student, but I was really trying. I wanted to go to Western to study economics, but when I went to visit my high school advisor and ask about college, he looked at me and said, "Murray, I think you should go to trade school." Well, 4 years later, I did make it and graduated on the president's list in economics and history. But job prospects were not good in those days. Boeing was in a major downturn, and as I drove home through Seattle, I saw the famous sign, "Will the last person in Seattle please turn off the lights?" It was tough. The job market was really, really terrible. This led me to the Benson Hotel, as President Shepard mentioned, where I started out as a busboy. I was then a captain in the dining room, a wine steward, purchasing agent, front desk clerk, assistant manager, and worked in housekeeping and the laundry. My career took me all over the country. I lived in Detroit, Chicago, Houston, San Francisco, and so on. I worked with Westin Hotels, Four Seasons, Interstate Hotels, and became a general manager and a vice president. Today, I'm the founder of the Dow Hotel Company that manages upscale hotels across the country. And we have $175 million in sales and over 3,000 employees. Now that each of you are on your threshold of your life, facing the job market in an unpredictable world, I have 2 things I'd like to talk to you about today. Number 1 is ethics in the workplace. There's no single area that will have more impact on you in your life in the workplace than ethics. Whether you're in education, science, performing arts, or business, ethical questions will plague you from the start. This current surge over ethics probably started at the Watergate crisis and spilled over to business. Since then, we've had a series of corporate and governmental scandals headed by insider trading in the stock market and politicians illegally diverting funds and systematically deceiving the Congress and the public. At the same time, the accelerating pace of science and technology have made ethical issues even more critical. While I cannot predict to each of you what you'll face down the road, I can tell you that you need to think about it before you act. My advice is don't act too quickly until you've thought about the ethical questions that you'll have to face. Seek out your family and your friends, people with experience you can talk to. It will help. Even today, I go to my senior staff and say, are we doing the right thing? Now, I get all sorts of different answers to that question, but it helps us formulate an ethical balance for our company, how we handle our employees, our associates, our partners. For example, in the business world, there's no such thing as free Super Bowl tickets. You've got good news, though. I spent 4 years here, and as a graduate of Western, you've been through the Western experience. I think that gives each and every one of you a leg up on solving ethical issues you will face. The second thing I'd like to mention today is leadership. You hear a lot about this issue, and a lot of you know a lot about it. But the good news is great leaders are made. They're not born. A survey conducted for a book called The Leadership Challenge, over 20,000 people on 4 continents were asked, when they considered the characteristics of admired leaders, what do you think they were? Well, I can tell you. Number 1, honesty. 2, far thinking. Number 3, inspiring. And number 4, fair-minded. Surprisingly, farther down the list were characteristics like ambitious, determined, and mature. So where does this lead us? As John Luther said, good character is to be more praised than outstanding talent. Most talent are to some extent a gift. Good character, by contrast, is not given to us. We have to build it piece by piece through our choice, courage, and determination, unquote. This, of course, reminds me of one little story, and then I'll be done. When I worked for Four Seasons Hotels, we were recruiting college graduates for our management training program at Cornell University. Cornell, known for its hotel program. It was a tough management program requiring long hours, rotating through all the hotel departments, and getting along with people in the process. Well, we went back after a few years, and they were all washing out because we'd only interviewed the A students, only the top A students we'd interviewed, but many of them had washed out. So the third year, I went back to Cornell, and I said to the advisor, could I see the C+ students, please? One of those that I hired today is the general manager of the Four Seasons in Palm Beach, Florida. So as you move into education, government, environmental studies, human resources, or international business, these disciplines will become more intertwined as your careers move forward. Your leadership success will depend upon how you adapt and relate to different disciplines, cultures, personal lives, and situations. One of the most important things to remember about leadership is you will not be the smartest person in the room. Once you realize and admit that to yourself, you'll realize that leadership is an intangible. It's an art. Much like integrity and personalities. As David Pottruck, the president of Charles Schwab, said, virtually everyone I've ever met wanted to work with people of character. Again, congratulations on a remarkable achievement. As graduates of Western Washington University, I'm confident that each and every one of you will have tremendous success in your lives. It's an honor to be here today. I wish you the best and hope you celebrate this milestone in your life. This is the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dow.